So look, we've spoken about carbon reduction plans and net zero plans, but how do you structure a good sort of carbon reduction plan and what does one look like? So let's talk about the structure and then let's have a look at an example. Carbon reduction plans, net zero plans, they tend to have the same structure. You've got, number one, you've got an introduction at the start, and that's generally by someone senior in the company, typically, chairman or the head of the environment committee or something like that, sets the scene and also gives words that, if you didn't read the rest of the report, you can read the words and just sort of get the gist of it. Then you've got the 6 MARTOC sections, and any plan that doesn't have any of those 6, you've got to question, is it a sort of complete plan? M, measurement, so a section on measurement. A, aims and objectives, what you're heading for. R, reduction projects, what do you actually do to lower your carbon down? T, tracking, how are you doing against the targets that you set yourself? O, offsets and removals, what are you doing to either offset your emissions that you can't get rid of, or even better, remove them if you can. And then last but not least, C, the commitment phase. So, someone senior signs this off and say, yeah, I am responsible for this document. Okay. So introduction, 6 MARTOC sections. Let's take a look at a sort of typical plan, and I'll take you through what one actually looks like in reality. Okay. So let's have a look at an example carbon reduction plan. This plan is from my book. It's on about page 77 or something like that, Net Zero for Business. And if you want a real sort of practical guide on how to get your business to net zero, that's kind of what this book is about. It's supposed to be a usable sort of guide to get you from A to B. And if you do buy it on Amazon and you wanted to leave me a kind review, then that would be absolutely brilliant. I love you forever. If you can get the reviews up, that would be fantastic. So let's have a look at it. What have we got here? This is the front page. Oasis Garden Centre. We've got the name of the company. 2023 rather, we've got a year. We've got what it is. It's a carbon reduction plan compliant with PPN 0621. And we sneak in the word ambitious there. Now, ambitious is a sort of a loaded term that you use in science-based targets. So an ambitious plan is we're not just going to cut it, we're going to ambitiously cut it. And ambitious is kind of word that the science-based targets people want you to be using. Then we've got a note from Jamie Brown, the CEO. Normal structure of these are something like, we really care about the environment. This is what we're doing. The team have done a great job. We're not there yet, but we're working at it. And, thanks to all the team and stuff like that. So that's the typical structure of this opening statement here. But it sets out, in words, why you're doing it and how you're getting on. So it's an important sort of page. And sometimes, to be honest, a lot of people read that more than they read the rest of the plan. They shouldn't do, but they do. Then we're into the MARTOC section. So this is M, this is measurement. And here they've chosen 2018 as a base year. That's very popular. Another popular choice would be financial year 22-23. Notice we're avoiding the COVID years. That's probably the critical thing there. That's the baseline emissions. And then your actual sort of emissions down here, if you look split up with scope 1, scope 2 and the scope 3s. Scope 1, if you remember, is the gases you emit directly. That would be fuel you burn, gas, petrol, diesel, any oil, for example, in there. It would also be any releases you make from air conditioning gases and things like that, if you've got any leaks. Scope 2, electricity, and scope 3, deliveries upstream. That's deliveries into the garden centre, the waste generated, business travel, commuting and home working, and then deliveries that they make out to clients. Some quite beefy numbers in there for the deliveries. Notice they've got an intensity ratio in here. That's pretty good. I like seeing those. That says that they emit 3.8 tonnes per staff member. And that enables them to say, well, if we double in size, then do you know what? The carbon will go up, but the intensity ratio should still go down as you do more and more sort of carbon reduction plans, carbon reduction projects. A of MARTOC is the aims and targets. What are they looking to do down here? 45% by 2030, that's pretty common, and 0% so carbon completely net zero by 2050. Nobody looks at the 2050 or 2045 I often see here. Nobody looks on that. It's 20 years away. The world will be a very different place by then. But this one here, this is the one we concentrate on, 45% by 2030. That's a very, very common, and it's a good sort of a good choice if you want something else to. If you don't know what you're aiming at, just choose that. Get on with it. You'll be fine. Then the reduction projects, the R of Martok. What are they actually doing? Energy efficient lighting, energy efficient appliances, waste management, composting, insulation, programmable thermostats, natural lighting, and energy audit. These are generated these days by AI. So certainly in the Anistic platform, it's got a good sort of AI analysis to recommend things. But this is not a bad set of reduction projects. And you just list them out. What are you actually doing? You don't have to put all of them in, just a selection. T of Martok, what are the what's your progress against the plan? What is the tracking component, but are you on target? And here we see that's the target reductions, actual reductions, and they're pretty much on plan here. And here is the intensity, how this intensity is improved over time, even though the staff numbers have sort of changed during that time. Okay, it's the tracking. Offsetting, what are they doing? Well, they're getting involved with reforestation, wildlife protection, and community spaces. That's fine. That's a good set, really. That's the O of Martok. And then finally, commitment certification. This is where Joe Brightly, the operations director, has signed it off. And if you want a plan, you should have that signed off by a senior director of some form. There you have it. That's an example carbon reduction plan. They come in all shapes and sizes, but you should have each of those Martok components listed out for a complete plan. If that was useful, I hope that was useful. Then tune in, have a look at the other videos I've done. And as I say, if you want to net zero for business, shameless plug for my book, then available on Amazon. And if you give it a great review, I'll love you forever. All right, see you next time.